Hiddly ho, neighborinos! My name is Frognungun, and you've either clicked on the commentary option at the end of either A or B of the In the Pines music video, or you found this video on YouTube and you're really confused. So I'll just give a quick rundown for you. I recently released a music video involving my characters and the world they live in. And some people might find that music video very confusing. So I thought it was more appropriate to make I'd call it a director's commentary, where I break down the video, scene by scene, and tell you exactly what's going on, and the troubles that went into making it. Without being said, enjoy, and also watch the original video if you haven't. So, this is the first shot of the video, and oh boy was that a fun one! So, the main challenge of this was mostly figuring out what to start with. I thought I'd start off with a shot of the GBI gang first, seeing as at this point in the timeline they are the most important. Each of these photos do actually mean something, by the way. I'm not just including fun art for the fun of it, however I do like fun art. I'd explain these, but they're very lore relevant. These shots have pretty much no meaning other than to aura farm, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, Samiel, we see the fit. Hey girl, don't... This shot is intentionally out of order, but I'll drop some lore to enlighten you on this specific shot. This was specifically based on a picture from the official Frognungun ARG website. Tell me where did you see last night? So this is a kind of showcase of random civilians infected by the first variant of Black Lines. There's also a mistake at the beginning, which makes it look like an impact frame. So this is a guy petrified by a radio. Trust me, in the lore it makes a lot of sense. The main problem with this scene is that I had to demonstrate the fact they were in fact petrified and not just like made of stone. So I gave him a mid-action pose and made him kind of look terrified. I also made time pass faster in the background, you know, kind of like a victim of Medusa in a way. So this is one of the reasons I had to specify the previous guy was just petrified and hence not just made of stone. Because this guy is actually made of stone! And they're moving! Yeah. It's also the earliest shot chronologically, I'm pretty sure. At least specified. Sun never shines. I shivered the whole night through. Almost every guy I showed this to found this shot to be super impressive for some reason. I think it's neat, but not impressive. Also, this guy's named Atlas and will be very important in the near future. They're also a robot who can think for themselves. Character's outline dominates the screen. But yeah, this scene helps demonstrate a pretty important thing in this animation. Essentially, corruption of effects in the scene, kind of indicating dimensional influence. But yeah, this is pretty bog standard. You are gonna see this guy again though. So, this guy is fully intended to be worshipping Pinkie Pie for My Little Pony. I'm just gonna speak it straight here. This godlike figure is fully intended to be Pinkie Pie. Not an analog of Pinkie Pie, not like a version of Pinkie Pie, not like some specific like XP of Pinkie Pie. No, this is just meant to be Pinkie Pie. Okay? Also, this is really funny because unlike on Earth, God does actually exist. There are 4 actual gods in this universe. Yet, the second largest religion on this planet on the planet of Gunalia is a religion worshipping fucking My Little Pony. I just think that's really funny. And I'm the guy who wrote it. This is my favourite scene. I love it. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's also majorly inspired by this scene in the original In the Pines music video. But I reckon the context changed just enough for it to only be a 5 on the Summerton scale. If you got that reference, I love you, I'm gonna kiss you. So, in this scene, there are always meant to be 2 suns in the sky, kind of a Tatooine situation, to kind of separate it from the main planet. Although, for some reason it didn't render like that, so you're getting a regular sun instead. Also, the lab you see the guy standing on, that is Dan TDM's old lab from his old videos. Although, it's literally not meant to be that, but instead, I just used it because I wanted a cool looking lab. I was also small enough for a guy to stand on top of. As always, this is also based on an image I use for my website. So, in this scene, I have a snake-like character kind of just laying down. This is more just a confirmation of their existence as they've already appeared once in the animation. If you know who, give me a shout. This shot is yeah, this is that guy. So this scene went through a bunch of, like, how do I say this, iterations in development. And I do regret not redoing it to include the guy doing, like, this colour sucking thing from them. Because a later shot would have then been more of an impact. Anyway, I tried my best to indicate this guy was having the colour sucked from them. I really hope that worked, because if you look at the before and after, you can actually see them with more colour than when they started.
Hey girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows.
Hey look! It's those 4 gods I was talking about! Those 4 actual real gods! Anyway, I didn't actually render this scene out properly, mostly because I made the stupid decision of making them into the size of actual buildings. It took literal days whenever I tried to render them with my regular settings, so I kind of just gave up. Plus, I think having it not be rendered adds a kind of ethereal appeal to the scene. Anyway, I'm just going to give you a quick introduction to each of them. Goddess of Life, God of Chaos, God of Order, God of Death. You see them? Great, on to the next one.
The sun don't never shine. I will shiver the whole night through.
I legally cannot talk about this scene. It's too important. I wish I was kidding. I ain't. Okay? I cannot talk about this scene. You see that guy? You see that guy? Yeah, I can't talk about him. You see that guy? That's Samuel. I can't talk about him. I don't wanna. Also, I said him, I meant them. But still, you get my point. I'm talking in a Bostonian accent. Hey, I'm walk. Hey, look, it's that Goddess of Life guy I was talking about. I was really nervous about this effect because it felt really janky because it didn't really show how it's kind of the same thing happening to 2 people. But essentially, she's giving Froggo and Todd, the 2 main characters, I don't want to say powers, essentially turning them into her avatars. That's the best way I can kind of say it. Yeah. Fun fact, this scene used to be completely different. It used to include my character from my old Rec Room series, if you remember that, you're a real one, fist bump, teleporting onto a fascist version of Earth. But I thought it didn't really match the narrative, so I removed it. It didn't really match the narrative because it was like aliens, human, aliens, you get my point. Hey look, it's Froggo! So this is an artistic representation of what happened almost exactly after the first video in the FNG timeline. In the original cut, the portal was a circle, but I changed it to keep visual consistency with the other portals. I legally cannot talk about this character. Again, all I'm going to say is that this guy's the guy we were meant to see in the caller training scene. The guy doing it. The characters in the shot are practically statues. So, this specific shot will make a lot more sense in the future because it directly links to at least two things. So instead, I'm going to actually focus on the contents of the shot. Basically, it involves Froggo post, being in half, pointing that arm cannon at someone. However, I cannot specify who at this point. All I'm going to say is Froggo is hesitating for a very good reason. And then something happens and we see 3 alternate Froggos. As in Froggos from alternate timelines. We'll name these variants 43, 77 and 1144 in those exact order. Basically, they're meant to represent the exact same situation in 3 alternate timelines and or universes. A concept of which we know frighteningly little. Bog standard shot of Todd at their desk. Fun fact, I had to maneuver my way around the fact that this doesn't immediately tell people that this character is Todd Mossberg, so I had to include a mysterious pink drink to indicate, a little scar on their cheek. Also, Todd isn't moving. So fun fact, this scene was technically the first ever scene recorded for this. That is if you don't count intention, because this was just test footage. I needed like a 2-second clip to kind of fill a void in the timeline. So this is the guy. This scene represents a camera falling into the void, and more importantly, in a more abstract way, the events happening right as Todd falls into the void with their work. It represents the whole portal thing by having like a massive portal appear underneath the room and then having the camera snow increase. But if I'm gonna be clear here, realistically in lore, the entire room would have just gone purple for a second and boom! In the void. I hate this shot. I genuinely hate it. I hate it. Hate this shot. I spent 3 weeks obsessing over how to make it at least semi-presentable. And then I kind of just gave up. Yeah, this is meant to represent one of the most important scenes in the Frogdungan lore of Froggo being violently reintroduced back to the real world. Look, it's a bunch of robots! Clanker alert! This scene took days to render, which is why it's 720p as opposed to 1080. You can also see Charlotte like very vaguely in the background, alongside the flag of a hypothetical future fascist dictatorship. Hey look! It's one of those scenes I legally cannot talk about! So, in this scene, Froggo wakes up halfway through an experiment done on them. Hence why the left side of their face is currently turned off. Also, this is kind of me confirming that Gwenalians don't actually have real eyebrows, and that eyebrows are instead a non-diegetic facial feature that only really exists to express their emotions. So, first things first, this is Todd's first moments back on Gwenalia. Second things second, this scene originally took place in a forest, instead of the middle of the street. So right now, there's probably an alternate universe, thanks to me, where as soon as Todd surfaced, they just got hit by a car and fucking died. So this is the most linear scene in the entire video, as it takes place almost directly after Todd comes back, only really being set off by a week or a day. I really enjoyed making this scene. I was originally going to make way more like that one scene from Blade Runner. But considering how, like, serious the scene is, I just decided to make it a bit more original. So I turned it more into an homage than a direct copy of the scene. Final scene, baby! So, this takes place right after Froggo and their friends escape Charlotte's lab. No, really, that's really all I can say without spoiling something I'm making. So, yeah. So, I've led you, be you teacher, peer, or queer, through my work. And I've explained my thought process. Did you like it? Then be sure to spread the original video to your friends. It's like a smile dog. If you don't, you'll die. And then subscribe. If you want to watch the originals, click here. If you want to watch a video YouTube thinks you'll like, click here. And if you want to kill me, meet me in front of Watford Palace Theatre and fucking try me. I have a knife, and I am not afraid to stab a bitch up. I have been Frog Nun Gun, and you have been watching this video.